Hey, how about them Gators? Florida going to the Elite Eight. Huge win tonight, Lauren uh, Meadows. 87-71. I didn't see that one coming after that first half. They had so many turnovers. I said if they decide to go to a bakery tomorrow morning for a reward, Todd Golden would say, don't get any turnovers. Because they had so many, they just couldn't seem to hold the ball. Had the injury to their big man. Obviously, that was really scary. Not a great night for Walter Clayton Jr., but the bench once again picked them up and came through. Although the announcers kept talking about they're going to get thin, they don't have the people. The fact is, they came back and just dominated the second half. When they didn't turn the ball over, they were much the better team, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the nature of it. I mean, if you look back to the UConn game and now this game, I mean, when the Gators are rolling, I mean, it's unbelievable. And turnovers are going to be part of it. A lot of times when you probing defenses trying to figure things out, that happens. But what the Gators have been able to do, almost to a T, is they've just been able to kind of almost improve as the game goes along. And you want to play quick, we'll play that way. You want to play deep and physical and slow, we'll play that way. I mean, it's kind of like, they can beat you doing it your way, or they can beat you doing it their way. And I mean, once again, just I mean, killed them on the glass. I mean, got after them. And I mean, you see that, and it's just, I mean, 42-20. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, just the dominance. And I mean, Steve Lapis, who was doing the game, he was almost like a joke. He was like, "Oh yeah, Florida decided to let Maryland get a rebound because, I mean, it just." And that's what I'm saying. I mean, in a game where they maybe not have played well, didn't get a lot of production from Walter Clayton, they were still able to dominate the glass. And then, like you said, I mean, 13 points from Houck on 3 of 9 shooting. Then Denzel Aberdeen, 5 of 7 for 12 points. And just being able to be that third guard, really that fourth guard that the Gators need, and
I love
it's
me
almost
some Denzel.
interchangeable.
I
Oh
love me
yeah,
some
yeah.
Denzel.
I've been
Oh,
at yeah. I mean, Aberdeen's been a favorite of mine since I saw him at Dr. Phillips, and I mean, once again, and it's funny, buddy, because if we said, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Chinyelu gets in foul trouble.
mhm,
He's fouled out the last 2 games, but
mhm.
because you got Handlogden and Houck, and if you have to, Alexis, okay, if he
And
fouls
Hancock
out,
got a little trouble himself. Alexis came later, but the heart of the, I mean, Tommy Hoff was great again.
oh yeah,
Terrific player he is. They just got so many players to
right,
complement each other, you
yeah,
know. And Will Richard played good enough. Um,
hmm,
Obviously, it wasn't a great night. They did a pretty good job of defending Walter.
right,
Walter didn't have his best night. He made some threes early on. But when the
hmm,
game was tied at half, I was a little nervous about what was taking place because of the turnovers,
hmm.
uncharacteristically losing their composure and losing the ball like they did. But once they started rebounding again, they started shooting better. That's a different deal. This team can be so good. We saw good tonight. And look, I'm going to say it right here. I've said it the whole time. When they're on, they ain't going to lose to anybody.
No, I mean, and like you said, I mean, struggles for Clayton and Elijah Martin, but Will Richard goes 6 for 9 for 15. I mean, adds 4 rebounds, has 3 assists. I mean, he's just. I mean, it doesn't matter. You have a bad night, I got you covered. If we all have a great night, like you said, buddy, they're unbeatable. And I mean, I think we're headed for a collision course. No offense to the Arizona Wildcats or others, but I think, we're gonna have must see TV with Cooper Flag and the others at Duke. And I think it's gonna be, Florida waiting on the other side. Cause like you said, I mean, I mean, they've got it all. They're the most complete team in the country right now.
Yeah, those games are underway. So now Florida plays the winner of Arkansas, Texas Tech, right?
Yes, sir.
And so they'll play Saturday night. I don't know if they'll play the first game or the second game Saturday. We'll see. And then if there, it's on to San Antonio playing for a natty. Um, this team isn't getting any worse. I know Gator fans get nervous because of the turnovers or what happened, and but this team has held its own. It's held its composure. What I like about them is they can have a bad stretch and they can go, they can put the other team go on a run of 8-0, whatever. They hold their own, come back and lay a 10-point run on the other team. And you can do that and keep your composure. That's a good sign. And they got a deep bench. We know that. But what I also like is that hey, if one thing's not working that night, they find another way. I mean, Todd Golden's a brilliant coach. Let's be honest about it. And he has really got his team's heart and soul. He got their pulse. He knows how to wind them up, how to let them go, what to do with them. Tonight was another example of find a way to win. Well, they found a way to win. They always seem to find a way to win, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, it's survive and advance. It's the first team to 6, and you keep standing them up, knocking them down, and you want to be on that high side of the score when it's over. And I mean, at this point, you're talking 3 games to get the chip. You just want to win. I mean, it's everything from Jim Valvano to survive and advance to Al Davis. Just win, baby. And yeah, I mean, when their backs are against the wall, that's when this team I mean, they have a calm demeanor about themselves and they just handle it. I mean, they just take it in stride, and everybody comes to play, and they got about 10 guys that can be effective and be part of this process. And I mean, they're I mean, they're just, I mean, they shot 50% from the floor, almost 40% from 3, made their free throws for the most part, 16 to 21. I mean, it just, they can take anything. I mean, Maryland got, they have the outstanding freshman, Derek Queen had 27, didn't even make a dent. I mean, it was almost like let Queen beat us. Don't let anybody else get after us. And I mean, they had some guys, Gillespie had a good night, but when it came,
tire them out, foul them out.
yeah, I mean, it just when it came time, it just they couldn't. Florida just leans on you, man. I mean, it's been that way all season. They just lean on you till you can't keep up, and there it goes. And like I said, I think that UConn was anomalous in the fact that they were playing for something. They were defending the throne. Obviously, had a great plan, but in the end, Florida was able to beat them at UConn's game as well. UConn's kind of a bully ball type of team. That's how they got the last 2 national titles. Mm-hmm. And Florida was able to adjust to that as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's going forward. I think it's just, not, whoever comes out there, Arkansas, obviously there's some familiarity there. Texas Tech, whoever they put up in front of them, they'll just be ready to roll.
I don't know of a bad matchup problem for Florida. I really don't, because they've already proven they can beat Tennessee and they can beat Alabama and Auburn, whatever. So, do you see a matchup problem for them?
No, not a matchup problem. The only issue would be they just, they get caught on a bad night, i.e., a Georgia. The trip to Knoxville earlier, I think it was in February sometime, early February, where you just, for some reason, it just doesn't click. But I think it's almost like there's some teams, in the NBA where, they kind of muddled through and some head scratching losses. But then when it comes down to it, you got to beat them 4 out of 7, and it just doesn't happen. I think that's the thing with it. When Florida kind of has a deep breath that they can take, and now, you're talking 2 days rest, play on Saturday, and then a week's rest to play in the Final Four on Saturday, then a couple days to kind of bounce back. No, I mean, I don't see it. I mean, I just don't see it.
All right, so another big win tonight for Gator basketball. Talk about it.
Well, the madness is real, and shout out to both Todd Golden and our own Kelly Ray Finley. The women's basketball team made it to the Final Four tonight of the WBIT. They'll face the winner. I think Minnesota ended up winning that game, and they'll face the Minnesota Gophers, which is an interesting matchup. because that's the home state of Liv McGill and Kelly Ray Finley, the coach. But a big win, first time making it to a Final Four of a postseason tournament since 2013, and just a big win for what Kelly Ray Finley is building, and kind of on the back of what the basketball team has done, and it's kind of contagious. So you'll have, hopefully the Gators get it done on Saturday, and then you'll have both basketball teams in the Final Four of postseason tournaments. That's the first time that's ever happened in the same year. So, shout out to Kelly Ray Finley and the job she's done. And I don't touch on this much because I don't want to get into personal business, but she's about a week or two away from having her first child. So, so doing all this while pregnant and waiting on a new baby boy, but just, Kelly doesn't even think about that right now. She's coaching her basketball team, and they had some tough moments against Texas Tech, but pulled it out. So, I mean, you could have Florida play Texas Tech tonight. You could have Florida, Texas Tech on Saturday. But just, what a great year for basketball at the University of Florida when it really comes down to it.
Joined by Ben Troop. Ben, good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? We're waiting on France Beard. He's at the press conferences. I talked to him briefly. Of course, he complained about the officiating. He said it's bad again tonight. But he'll join us later on. Good to see you, Ben. What was your take on the game?
I mean, like I always say when it comes to these Gators, I mean, there's something about that second half. Whatever coach Golden tells those guys in the locker room is definitely something they could build off of. I'm just really, 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 really impressed. Listen, I know that Lauren was talking about it first. Shout out to those Lady Gators, man. I know everybody wants to keep talking about the guys, and rightfully so. And Lauren, I think you might have said Coach Finn is getting ready to have her first baby or something like that.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Let me
any day now, literally.
Hold on. Let me I'm not talking about Gator bait. I know the friends and Lauren and Buddy and the beat writers. That's not being talked about enough about what Coach Finn is doing while being pregnant. That baby gonna come out jumping. That baby gonna come out. But congratulations to both the guys and the ladies. I agree with you, Lauren. When as much as we want Florida Gator football to play well, which they did at the tail end of the season, when basketball is rocking the way it's rocking, it's a beautiful place to be. And like I say, anybody that's got to play Florida got to understand this. And with the guys, what their second half adjustments, them guys jump on you. I never ever worry about how we, I never worry about how we finish the half or going into half, being up by 2. I look at how we finish, and you getting guys. Listen, Denzel Aberdeen. I'm just saying, man. I know it's all about. Them. I was starting 3 guards, but the energy that he brings off the bench is incredible. And I just think our bigs are really finding a way. I mean, teams are kind of trying to play us how we play them, getting a lot of offensive boards. But I was really, really impressed by Florida because you know how it is, Lauren and Buddy. You're coming in the number 1 seed, a hard-fought win against a UConn team, a Maryland team that won at the buzzer. This game could have gone a lot of ways, but we got the win, and we did it. We did it Florida's way. Closed out the game well. And like I said, we on to the next. I was talking to my daughter today, and she gonna tell me the one Lauren that I was telling Coach Finn about, I wanted to play basketball. She gonna tell me, yeah, Dad, a lot of people didn't really have Florida going Sweet 16. I said, yeah, they did. They don't like the fact that Florida is ahead of schedule. I get it. I said, well, they don't have to. I said, that's right. They ain't have us going to the Sweet 16 because we in the Elite 8. So that's right. But congratulations to both the men and the women. Coach Finn, girl, you are a superhero with what you're doing right now. But I'm just happy that Greg Sankey is the most powerful man in college sports, being the commissioner. A guy that has more freaking flyer miles than Greg Sankey would be Scott Strickland. Scott Strickland, I don't know what games he decided to go to, but shout out to both the men's and the women's Gators, men's and women's Gators basketball teams. I'm just happy that both of them moving on.
All right, so I'm gonna give you that, but I'm gonna say this: we're talking about going to the Elite Eight, guys.
Hold on, no,
You
no,
know,
no,
this
no,
is
no, no, no. Hold on,
no,
buddy. Hold
I
on,
get
hold
it.
on.
I know I'm gonna be selfish with the time because I want to focus on a great accomplishment this was, and give these guys their due. I mean,
Yes,
amazing, yeah, and it wasn't even a contest in the end. And they look like I told Lauren they can beat anybody and will beat everybody.
Yeah.
This is a night when their All American didn't have his best stuff, and their star big had injury, and they and Maryland gave them a little trouble there in the first part. So, and they brought it back and just crushed the Terrapins, and they had their stuff in the end. So I just want to think about the magnitude of this, Lauren, for a second. They are
Yeah.
they're in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like we said, I mean, it's
They're going to San Antonio, play for the Final Four.
right.
National championship. We don't get to say that very often around here. That's why I'm yelling.
Oh no, I mean, I agree. I mean, since 2000, what 2017, I think was the last year under Mike White. They went to the Elite Eight and unfortunately lost to South Carolina. It is a huge deal. I mean, it is everything that, I mean, it's what every, I mean, I don't think anybody thought that, but once they start rolling, it was like, okay, this is a team, and we talked about it could be a second weekend team, and here we are. And like I've always said, if you get to the second weekend, you can make the Final Four, and here they
sir.
are on the doorstep. But you know, I think even more, buddy, is now with them being an Elite Eight team, if they are to make the Final Four, what I think will be most impressive or most maybe fun for us in the week leading up to the Final Four is now you get to rank this 2025 team with the 06-07,
Hard to do
with the
hard to
2014,
that, yeah.
with that, even the team with Teddy Dupay and those guys that
Yes,
that lost, I mean, so all of those now we can really start to examine, piece by piece where this team is. And then if we get the coronation on Monday night, a couple Monday nights from now, it's just going to be, I mean, it's going to be sweet. So, yeah, I mean, definitely Todd Golden in his third year. I mean, a third year coach getting his team to basically the doorstep of the Final Four, if the Final Four and then the national championship is huge. I mean, absolutely huge. And, Walter Clayton Jr., maybe a guy that I think some of us thought might make an NBA roster, maybe, has now played himself into, possible first round, if not lottery pick in this spring's draft. So I mean, it's going to be, yeah. I mean, it's a huge deal, no doubt about it, buddy.
And I know, Ben, you're trying to say something about it. Look, Mike White left us high and dry. Okay. I mean, just dumped on us and went to Georgia. And I don't know where they came up with Todd Golden. I know where, but the genius that went to work, whatever that was, whoever did it, and I got to give Scott Strickland credit. We had no idea this guy was this good a coach. And we hadn't even seen the best Todd Golden yet. We're just seeing his early years. And obviously is just like Billy. People talk about Billy. Billy, the players like Billy, obviously. Even though some of the fans complain, they like Billy. These players like him and respond, and he's tough on them. I like when he gets after him. I love that he broke the whiteboard last week. And think about the UConn game. Now, how much of a role did the UConn game play? They were in a tough spot there at the half, leading by 2 points. You thought, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? They called up some of that toughness they got from UConn, and they just beat the crap out of Maryland. Okay, so that turns out to have been a big moment and a teaching moment for the team to coach.
yeah, but I think something that what makes Florida dangerous is if my best player Walter Clayton Jr. is not having the Walter Clayton type game and they still win like that, that's what make a team dangerous. Because here's the thing about Walter Clayton: we understand what he means to Florida, we understand what he means to this team, but everybody, even a shooter, might not have a good night, and you still have that type of showing. That means that Walter can say, "Hey man, you can breathe. Listen, we know who you are, man. We know what you mean to this squad." But if my best player, he didn't take a night off. He just didn't have the night we used to having, and they still win like this. That's what makes Florida dangerous. Listen, I just think that Coach Golden's culture is only being solidified because they are winning. See, the thing about it is people talking about, man, how do you build a culture quick? Win and win consistently. Any great coach has a great culture attached to him. That's any level of sport. That's any sport that they coach or play. So I think that's what Coach Golden is doing. And listen, if you coach in San Francisco, the one thing Coach Golden has over everybody is how to identify international talent. That's what he said. I'm gonna get transfers. I'm gonna get guys internationally. I'm gonna get guys in the States. I got a winning system. Walter Clayton Jr. deciding to come back for his senior year was the biggest move in 2024. No one saw him having the year he's having, but we happy that he's doing it. And like I said, Florida can beat you in a lot of ways. But here's the thing about Florida. If they close at the half, they can pull away. And if they up by double digits at the half, it's going to be hard to catch them. Because the one thing they do in the second half, they get a lead and they force, okay, let's see if you can catch us. And now they can get up and down the floor. Now they can bang the glass. Now they can go out there and get them offensive rebounds. Coach Golden is a hard-nosed coach, but they believe every word he say because it's working. It's working. So, and Coach Golden is doing it in these glory years, so to speak, of SEC. Nothing against when Joe Kim and them boys was winning. The SEC was good back then. It ain't what it is now. So I like the fact that he's doing it when the SEC is good, not when, Coach McElwain went to the SEC championship and they said, well, the East is down this year. No. Then 14 teams in the tourney. You took 7 to the Sweet 16. So, man, he's doing it against big-time competition. So, and you shut down UConn's 3-peat. Man, let's go, man. And I know we still got some games to go. I ain't celebrating. I'm happy they made it to the Elite Eight. And I'm happy on the same night the Lady Gators, made it to the semis. So, Angel Reese was in the crowd tonight looking at her brother. Hey, and she realized, hey, man, that Angel, you can't help him today. Ain't nothing you can do. But congratulations to Coach Finn. Congratulations to Coach Golden. It is definitely great to be a Florida Gator tonight, getting it done with both squads. Hey, man, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're going to have Franz Beard back. We had him earlier before you guys came on. He had to go to the press conference and get the numbers and get the inside stuff from what he's got there in just a minute. But I want to go back to, we all like to claim things and claim people, and we all take credit for after somebody gets famous. We go, oh, yeah, I like that all the time. That's how we are. And that's just the way it is. But I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to try to brag. I put myself out there for DJ Lagway, and early on, I put Denzel Aberdeen there as one of my guys. I thought he was going to be a factor, and I want to see him get more minutes. And I even talked about it quite a bit. And then obviously Condon. Condon was what might have been my favorite. He and Tommy Hoff were just beautiful to watch coming off the bench. And you see how it played out tonight. So every now and then we get one right. But I love watching these kids play. They play with a great deal of heart. And they listen to their coach. They know they're resilient. If you guys, we talked about this a lot. If you picked out a team and say a word to say what best describes this bunch of guys, Lauren, what would you say?
Just, this group as a whole, just resilient. Just resilient. Nothing seems to bother them. They handle adversity. They adjust on the fly. You name it. And even like Fran said, the officiating may not have been the best, but they make it's obviously normal to complain, but they never waver. Even in losses like the Georgia loss, they turn back around and dominate Texas A&M like the next night, or just boom boom. And then like the Tennessee loss, they went up to Knoxville, didn't play very well, come back, keep it rolling again. And even after knocking off Alabama and some of the other schools late in the year, people didn't think they could win the tournament. They just just resilient, just consistent, and just unflappable. Just a resilient bunch of guys. And I think that's going to take, that resiliency is what's going to take them, to like I said, that Monday night.
Yeah, and I think what I saw tonight, and with Walter being a titch off, and for him off is still a great night, but I mean he just couldn't get a shot off. In the second half, when Golden looked around the bench to say, "Who can I count on? Who's going to bail me out here off my bench?" You saw the special affection he had for Denzel Aberdeen when he patted him on the butt and gave him a word and talked to him the way I've not seen before. Because Aberdeen stepped up in a special role in the night when he was needed, and they didn't miss a lick with him. And he knocked the three down, he took the ball to the hole, he played really good defense, and man, that guy's a good player. So there's so many talented players on a given night, Ben. Any one of them can beat you.
Yep, a word that I would describe for Florida, I would say pressure. They apply it so well, man, and they don't feel it. They do not feel. Once again, when you had to play in this SEC 2024, 2025, who are you afraid of in the country? What? You playing number one? I beat number one twice this season. I beat number one twice in the same, within like a week or so, right? I lose a game again. I get some get back. I look at Florida like this too. Look at what the Missouri coach said about Florida. You would have thought, like, dude, that's the other team you just lost to, right? Look at how complimentary he was when he said, because I still want the SEC to do well. Didn't Arkansas? I mean, not Arkansas. Who they played after? They didn't play. What's the coach? The Tennessee coach saying they like the Noah's Ark. They got two of everything, man. Anything you need, they got two of every. But I would say pressure because Ty Golden put so much pressure on them to perform and in practice that they just applied in games. Like I said, Denzel, this when you on a really, really good team, it's not how many minutes you play, it's what you do with the minutes you get. Them boys know, man, I'm coming off the bench, but I'm just as important as a starter, right? Because when you play on teams like this, and Lauren, you can speak to this better than me. When it comes to basketball, dude, the hardest minutes to get on teams that matter. Them the hardest minutes to get then. Because if you're on a bad team, everybody can play. You're on a good team, hey, man, Denzel, we need 8 quality minutes. We need 12 quality minutes. And don't you know, if Walter Clayton goes into every game saying, dude, I hope I'm myself today, but who got me if I'm not? We got you. That's what make Walter Clayton dangerous is saying, look, man, shooter, you got shoot till you hot, shoot till you cold, but shoot that thing and shoot till you miss, shoot till you make it. But we got you. Why? Because I don't know what we rank in offensive rebounds. I guarantee you we top 10. I mean, we gonna get some extra possessions, but I like this team's poise. Because the thing about Florida, and everybody knows this, Florida, I don't like us playing from behind. We can catch you. But if we playing with a lead, we are hard to deal with. We are hard. Because we'll let you get some breathing room. People say, oh, they only up by 2 going to the half, man. It's 2 halves of basketball. You watch second half. The first half is a fill-out half. I'm trying to fill this team out, see what we got to deal with. Them second half adjustments. Walter Clayton Jr., once again, did not have what we've grown to know and love, and the scoreboard did not show that. So, shout out to Maryland, man. But sometimes you run up against a juggernaut. You say, hey, man, we had a really, really good year. Won our last game at the buzzer against Colorado State. But somebody goes, what you think you got to do against Florida? Pray. Go, we got the mass. We got to go confession. Because these boys they play unselfish. They play a good in and out game. They got rim protectors. With everybody I get it. We live in the age of 7-foot 3-point shooters. I get it. Everybody got to shoot a 3 these days. But we got a real big man down low that really, really they be Walter Clayton, those guys are getting so much pressure. He had a couple of dunks today. He's wide open under the basket by himself. I will take it. Moving on to the next one. And like I say, this is a run that I don't want to see come to an end until we the last team standing. And Todd Golden has done in 3 years what most coaches will never do in 20. When you talk about what he's building, and like I say, to those people that have something to say about our coach transfer portal guys because they didn't come from big time schools, man, you got to get guys that fit what you do. And dare I say they fit? And dare I say for one night, Scott Strickland, I don't know if he's on the plane right now, wherever he is. He's like, look, I don't know which way I'm going, but both Lady Gators, and the guys both moving on. That's a great night.
We don't need to come home. There's another game coming up shortly. Franz was with us. He had to go. I'm sure to get him over if we have time tonight. While we're waiting on him, let's go and respond to some of the remarks that some of our people are making. A nice big crowd tonight checking us out. Let's see what Susan Cunningham says. We have the best basketball coach. This was the best hire. You guys, we kind of agreed on that already. What a great hire that was. And let's see. We got to hear a comment from we're talking about Big Dez. Never thought this would be a good team with this shit. Congratulations to Gators. Perry Mason, we agree with you on that. So we didn't either. We got, and then Buddy Johnson makes a really good point. This team is fun to watch, not just because they win. Of course, that's the chief reason, but they're just fun to watch. You think, what are they going to do next? Guy comes off the bench and suddenly lights them up. And not one of those guys back down from anybody. They'll go right in and take the ball. So I think we agree on that. And then Chuck McKenzie, unreal year for the SEC, where the Gators will win it all. You guys agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Unreal year for great year for the SEC as a conference. And I think they will win it all.
Yep, I have a how do I say it? I have a biased, unbiased opinion, however you want to look at it. Jay Billis and all those guys. Listen, Avery Johnson, former, two-time world champ with the Spurs, came out and said it. Walter Clayton Jr. is the best player in Eastern. I got him the best player in the country, best guard in the country right now. I mean, when you look at, and like I say, I get it. Because and once again, I saw this thing. We always talk about blue bloods in the SEC. I think it's 3 of them, 2 really, but 3: Kentucky, Florida, and sometimes Arkansas, because Arkansas don't want it all. But all I'm saying is, when you get to those people that keep on using this term, everything school, there's a school in Tennessee that keep using it. It has one meaning. It's not a sliding scale. No, everything school is all in the name. I get it. Y'all did what y'all did in baseball. Congratulations, right? But you got to do it in basketball. And you got to do it. Now, I get it. We ain't got copyrights to everything school. But once again, buddy, what they gonna say then though? It's like, what happens when them boys from Gainesville do it again? Isn't it great that we shut down? We the last team to do back-to-back until UConn came. Coach Dan Hurley. But you talk about the sport, you talking about just sour grape. Oh my God! But at the same time, I love this Florida team, man, because they are fun to watch, man. Yeah. Like they can get up and down the court. I mean, they throwing alleys to each other. They getting the outlet passes. I mean, they shooting the 3. They rebound. They playing defense. I'm just happy that we repping the right orange and blue, because there's a bunch of orange and blues out there. But
let's go get this guy. He's joining us for a second, real quick, in his press conference. Franz, go ahead. How you doing?
Oh, absolutely terrific. Let's put it this way: 16 turnovers in the game, but 13 of them were in the first half. And this is a team that just was out of sorts. And I think a lot of it had to do with the foul calls and the lack of by the Zebra crew. First half, I mean, my gosh, Florida never shot a 1-and-1 in the first half. But in the second half, they started just calming down. Those 2 dunks by Ruben Chinyelu really changed the ball game. And then, of course, Condon comes back into the ball game. And that play that he makes when he's flipping the ball up at the basket from his back to beat the shot clock, and Mike did turn it in. I just asked. I just asked a couple of the coaches. I said, just like you drew it up, right? And they said, oh, no. I said, come on, guys. I just gave you a layup. You're supposed to say, yeah, man, we work on this play all the time. But
absolutely.
That's amazing effort. I'd say that's what I love. I love the the rebound by Elijah in the last game. I love the effort by him tonight. Those effort plays, they make all the difference in the world, don't they, friends?
Oh yeah, and to think you get 6 guys in double figures. I mean, Walter didn't even have to shoot in the second half. All he had to do was just direct traffic. He got some rest too. Played a lot of guys and got a lot of effort out of a lot of people. And guys, if there's one thing that just really, I think defines this team, you get consistent effort from everybody. You don't get in there and watch a guy play and say, well, he's not really giving his best. They need to get him out of there. Watching Maryland tonight. I mean, you look at the body language of those guys. Even in the first half when they had the lead, you look at their body language. I don't know if y'all got to see too many pictures of them on the sideline and stuff, but it's almost as if this team knows that Kevin Willard is going to be the next coach at Villanova. And to quote my late great brother-in-law, they just didn't give a fat rat's ass. And Kevin Willard will be the new coach at Villanova tomorrow, and Maryland will be looking for a new head coach. And I think Derek Queen will be going to the NBA, and the other guys will be hoping to straggle on to somebody. I got to tell you one thing. The Julian Reese is a man. I mean, my gosh, I stood next to him, and that is an absolute man. But Florida, well coached team that knows when to turn on the switch, knows when. Okay, Todd really didn't have to get on them at all. He just said, quit turning the ball over, and they quit turning the ball over. They just really the whole game changed when they started protecting the basketball in the last half of the game.
Yeah, it's amazing what you do. You don't turn it over. What did Todd say about the effort of, say, Denzel Aberdeen?
Oh, he was just all over Denzel for having played a great game. And Denzel Aberdeen and Tommy Hawk were absolutely sensational, both of them tonight. Tommy, I don't know if he even came off the court for more than a minute or two after Kondo went down. He just played the whole ball game. And when you got this kind of effort and this kind of talent on the bench and this kind of selflessness, because you look at how these guys pass the ball, do things like this. That says something about a group of guys that really are playing well together. And I, you know, what has made this journey, I think, so good for them, and it's made it good for me, being a guy that's, I'm getting older, and there aren't going to be this many more of these in the future. I'm 73 years old, so I mean, and there's just not going to be that many more opportunities. But to be able to be there and be a part of this in a small way as an observer, it's really a special group, guys. It really is. And the big thing, and the most important thing they've done is they've given me another day to go food exploring, and I've done that already.
No doubt.
I'm gonna give these guys a crack at you, and then I'm gonna let you go because you're tired and we're tired, and we're gonna go home and celebrate, have a cookies and milk, and celebrate this win. Go ahead.
It's a great place to eat, guys.
Yeah, I said, however, if they go to breakfast tomorrow and go to a French bakery, they won't be getting any apple turnovers. That's for sure.
Well, no, like I said, I mean, friends, we talk about it on a consistent basis, and we've talked about it here. I mean, here we are in that second weekend, and we say, we thought this team from the start was a second weekend team. You make the second weekend, you got a great shot to go to San Antonio. So, I mean, I think, I guess I'll just look forward to hanging out with you next week when we head to San Antonio.
Oh heavens, Ray Price, San Antonio Rose. We'll be playing on my car all the way home from the Orlando airport come Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
Well, all right.
And I gotta get this. This is my friend.
All right.
No, friends, you talked about it though. I mean, people be beat writers their whole life and they never get the team they writing for. Don't do things like Florida basketball is doing. You've seen Florida basketball do a lot of great things. Where does this rank in the Frank Beard, barometer of having fun and enjoying a team like this?
Well, every team's different, obviously, and this one different than the '04s. The '04s they just personified the joy of playing the game out on the court. What these guys personify is being out there for each other, and you see it there at the end. I don't know if they put the camera on the bench, but Bennett Anderson scores with 30, gets a rebound and scores with 36
Yeah.
seconds to go. And you would have thought that he had just hit the shot from midcourt, the three-pointer that wins the game. And when you get guys like this that are that connected and that into each other as players and people, and this team is, then you got something very, very special going. And these guys really, really do. It's a different type of team. I'm not going to try to compare them to the '04s in '06 and '07 simply because that was 18 years ago. This is a different team and a different structure, different coaches and everything. But I got to say this, it's every bit as much fun as it was covering those guys for different reasons. They're so enjoyable. And, I talking with Carlin Hartman, who's the big man coach. And UNLV just screwed up royally by not hiring him. They hired Josh Pastner, who's going to take them right down the toilet, just like he does every place he ever goes. And they could have hired Carlin Hartman and maybe resurrected their program. But he's a gracious guy. He loves being here. Loves the guys he's doing. Talked with Kevin Hovde, who's going to be the new coach at Columbia. And I got to tell you what, this is a guy who he's happy he's going to be a head coach somewhere, but he's going to miss it here. And he just told me, he said, I'm going to really miss this place. And I said, we're going to miss you too. So when you get coaches and players like that, there's that connection with all of them. We don't see that often.
Yeah,
We
special
just
relationship. That's right. And let me just say this. I'm going to let you get you out of here because I know it's a long night for you. Let me thank our sponsors tonight. We haven't given them a word at all. Just say thank you to Meldon Law. I know that Jeffrey's out there, and in fact, we expect to talk to him. He's supposed to be checking on you, friends. Meldon Law, of course, and Titan MRI, of course, them and our friends here in Ocala as well. In our Scott Brantley's wife Mary and Joe Sorrentino started this business a long time ago, and they've done a great job. So thank you to all our sponsors, guys. Appreciate that. Good job, friends.
Let me say one more thing, if I can. The late great Jack Hairston, when he hired me as a high school senior years ago, told me, he said, "Don't ever forget, get the story." He said, there is rarely the score. The story is the people who make the score. And I got to tell you what, this team gives me a lot of stories because the people are just fabulous. I mean, they really are. It is all about the relationships, buddy. You hit the nail on the head. It is a relationship thing. And, the people are the story. And we have really great people here.
Well, we've had a great opportunity to be around them. This is going to be one that will be long enough for a long time, guys. Great job. Read friends on Gator Bait. Read Lauren there. Matter of fact, Lauren had a piece up in football tonight. And Ben, thank you. Great job, fellas. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Have a great night. All right.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy, it's opening day in baseball. So just know.
I don't follow baseball. All
right, buddy.
Good night. Thank you. All right. Great Ben Troop. All right. So let me just go out with the song tonight and say what a great night it was. Thanks to the sponsors. Thank you for you. Big crowd tonight. Thanks for listening and watching. Coming back to you this weekend again. Francis is out there. We'll be doing live show probably on Saturday night. And we hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. It's been a great day, and it's been a great outcome of the game if you're a Gator fan. And boy, it sure is nice to see them win like that. Have a great night, folks.